Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secrets to her glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. And we're live tonight. The music starts playing, it's time for cabareting on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
Vegetarian vandalism. Who decapitated the statue of a 19th century rancher and meatpacking magnate? It's a mystery who had a beef with the statue of Charles Swanston in Sacramento, but police are investigating. This is a case for Law and Order SVU, Squashed Vegetable Unit.
Dude, if you want to be a sociopath, we got a perfectly functional paper towel holder, bud. You could put it on with the paper towel in the front. Dude, if you want to be a sociopath, you could put the roll backwards like this. Sociopath.
Who am I to judge, to quote the Pope? But Fred Rogers said that all the time, because initially, he didn't want me to come out as gay. And then by the time 1985, he was saying, well, do whatever you want to do, but keep it slow, low, and don't make it so flamboyant. So I began to slowly come out of the closet, because he says everyone has the right to love somebody.
Hello, hello, hello. Amber LeMay here, welcoming you to Amber Live. And do we have a great show for you tonight? But first, I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Well, it's January in Vermont. What do we have to look forward to? Winter Rendezvous. And we're going to tell you all about it tonight. Russell, come on in.
Hey, Amber, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Oh, I'm so excited about tonight's show.
Are you ready for Winter Rendezvous?
Oh, I'm ready. I know that. Oh my gosh. Lucy Bell and I will be down there Wednesday hosting the opening party at the bowling alley. And then we've got a lot of other fun things planned. But tonight we're going to talk about the entertainers that are coming to Winter Rendezvous, Stowe, Vermont next weekend.
And it's an amazing lineup of entertainers. I can't believe the people who are going to be there this year. And I wish I could be, but I have to work.
I'll be working too. Trust me. All right, Russell. I know we've got some new viewers tonight. So what's the best way to watch the show?
Well, hopefully we've got lots of Winter Rendezvous attendees viewing tonight. And the best way to watch the show, if you're not already watching on youtube.com, you should watch there, because that's the place to see Amber in full HD. And I do want to remind everyone that we have a TikTok channel, an Instagram channel, Facebook, and even a full website at amberlive.tv. And you should go out and check all of those out. And if you can't listen or can't watch Amber, you can always listen to Amber on the Amber Live interviews, and you'll find those anywhere that you find great podcasts. So there's lots of places to watch and listen to Amber. So I do recommend that you get out there, make sure you subscribe to all of them, follow them, so you know when new stuff comes up, and you'll have a great time with us.
Now, Russell, we are starting our 4th year of doing Amber Live. We've done 100, and I think this is 146th episode of Amber Live.
It's 136.
Oh, 36. Oh,
Yep.
Excuse me. Oh, I jumped ahead. But if you do the math between March 22nd of 2020 and tonight, divide that into 134, and we've been on the air a lot. And what helps us keep us on the air?
Well, the thing that keeps us going and that is vital to us is the bustiers. And I love our bustiers. You'll see our super bustiers there and our regular bustiers. And it's for all the new viewers, for all the people from Winter Rendezvous who are watching tonight. You can help us out by using that Venmo at RJD Pro, or going to amberlive.tv and using your credit card there and making a donation to help Amber pay all the bills that happen around the show. So if you donate $25 or more, I will send you a sticker with our logo on it. For $100 or more, you get a sticker and a magnet with a logo. And for $200 or more, you get a sticker, a magnet, and a mug. And the mug will have our great new logo on it that we've just introduced. And again, use that Venmo at RJD Pro. And thank you to all of our bustiers. It really is vital, and it is what keeps us going here. So please help us out. We do need support.
You know what I like? People message me and say, "Oh, Amber, I'd love to buy you a drink." Well, buy me a drink via Venmo. Do that. Plug that
Yes,
in there.
you use that when you see Amber. If you're in Winter Rendezvous, you're out and you're going to buy her a drink. She's probably already had too many. So just use that Venmo at RJD Pro and send us a donation. It will go a lot further than extending her drinking habits.
Oh, but that'd be nice too as well. All right, let's talk about the guests tonight, Russell.
Oh,
Who do
we have a lineup tonight, and it starts tonight with Miss Richfield 1981, who we adore, and we've worked with her for years now, and she's been on the show multiple times. And then after that, you're going to be talking with DJ Craig Mitchell, who is just incredible and is DJ'd all over the country. He's DJ'd at the Tunnel in New York back in the day. He's DJ'd in Montreal. He DJs in Burlington all the time. And he's a very busy man, so he's got lots to talk about. And after that, Jackie Beat is finally on the show. We've been trying to get her for a while, and we finally landed her and have her on the show tonight. And we'll have her on the show next week as well, because we have a little section that goes with next week's topic. And then we have Debby Holiday, who is just a wonderful soul and is going to be doing an amazing performance at Winter Rendezvous. So we hope you all get a chance to watch her live there and stay around and listen to her tonight, because she's got some great things to say.
And we have to admit that these were all pre-taped or pre-recorded interviews, because we couldn't get them all together on one night because they are all so fabulous. So Russell, let's go right to Miss Richfield 1981.
And away we go.
One of the great things about doing this show for 3 years is we have a lot of repeat guests, because I like to talk to them. And one of my favorite people to talk to is Miss Richfield. Miss Richfield, come on in.
Well, hello, it's Amber. Are you out there? Where are you, Amber? There you are. Hi, Amber. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I'm here with my friends, the piggies.
Do they have names?
Oh, yeah. You would think I would have come up with that. I've only had them for 25 years. But, yeah, I haven't named them yet. But do you think we should name them? Maybe?
I think so. I think so.
Names? Do we know the three piggies' names? Because there was the straw house, and there was the brick house. That would be the one on the top.
The twigs, one of straw, twigs, and bricks.
Something like that.
So, all right. Miss Richfield, you're coming to Vermont next week. So we're excited to have you back.
I've already got my ski goggles on.
You've been here, I believe this is your third, possibly fourth time for Winter Rendezvous, and we've had so much fun. So tell us what we can expect to see you on Friday night.
On Friday, I'm going to be doing my show, Cancel Culture Pearls, which I love. And I have, Amber, you would understand this, that some of the times, because some of your shows you like better than others. I mean, shows are like children. You don't like them all the same. In fact, I don't like any children, but I do like some of my shows. So one of my shows that I absolutely love is this Cancel Culture show. I absolutely love it. Well, you guys got to see it in P-Town.
Yes,
it's just really a great show. And it's one of those shows I just look forward to doing. I'm only doing it through April. And then I launched my new show. So I'm super sad about having to let it go in April, but I'm glad I get to do it a few more times. I'll do it here in Stowe. And then I'll do it a couple cruises, and then I go down to Fort Lauderdale, and then it's pretty much done. So
one of my philosophies is either learn new material or get a new audience. And so you've chosen to get a new audience.
Exactly. I've done both. I do both. No, I do a new show every year. So, and that's a lot of work to come up with a new show. It's exhausting, but I still love to do it. And but some of the shows you like better than others, and I think this show really, Cancel Culture Pearls, I think just has it's got a lot. For one thing, it's got a lot of my information about what's happened to me in the cancel culture world. And when you get to my age, you know, a single gal like myself in her late 20s, you've been canceled a few times, you know? And so I was thinking I should do a show about that. And so I tell 3 stories about myself, things that have actually happened to me. And then we play a fun game, and it just sort of has a message at the end that I just really, really, really like. So, so I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I love Stowe because that Stowe is part of that whole New England area where, you know, I go spend the summers in P-Town. Sometimes I get to Agunquit. And boy, to drop in at Burlington. I just had a guest on Bingo from Burlington, as a matter of fact.
Yes. Your monthly bingo. Well, now it's monthly, but during the pandemic, you played bingo every Monday night online. I know because I watched.
I hate to correct you as the guest, so I'll have one of the puppets correct you. Actually, it was 2 times a week for the first year. And then it was 1 time a week. I should come up with different voices, but I know the whole puppet.
That's right. I love the Sunday brunch bingo. I really like that.
Well, it was so I used to do it 2 times a week, and I was actually busier during the pandemic than I normally am because I normally through the whole year I don't do 2 or 3 things a week. You know, I usually do on the weekends and here and there. P-Town is 5 days a week, but that's for a short time. So it really kept me busy. It kept me on my toes, much like you, who does Sundays.
That's right. That's right. And you really created a community like I have with Amber Live. You had people from all over the world actually playing bingo with you and having a lot of fun.
It's crazy. We have a guy from Brazil that joins us, a guy from Mexico City, a guy from Scotland.
Yes.
We have all these different, and I know you play oftentimes too, and I really appreciate you being there. I'd love to see your name pop up. And some snarky remark that I oftentimes don't read aloud.
I understand. A lot of it's just to get Chris smiling. Chris Caputo.
Oh, hello. I know. We love Chris. Yeah. Everybody. Hello. There's no harm in that. Oh, we love Chris. Don't we? Isn't he gorgeous?
Now you're playing the last Monday of every month.
Well, yes. And now we're actually doing holidays. So we did 2 times a week for a year. Then we did 1 time a week for another year. Now, the 3rd year, we've done the last weekend or the last Monday of the month. And now we're moving to just holidays. So we did one just before the end of the year. And then we're going to do one on Valentine's Day. So that's about a month and a half. And then one on my birthday, which is about a month and a half later. So we'll kind of space them out a little bit more. You know, because it just takes 5 of us like your show, you know, I don't have people like you who you guys do this full time. I'm just doing it on my spare time. It's not a job for me like it is for you. So I think that's great.
So tell us more about cancel culture. Just give us some ideas of either your stories or some of the songs you sing.
Cancel Culture Pearls. Yeah, well, I do. I tell it, like I said, I tell 3 stories, and there's some pictures that go along with that. And the stories are really super fun and funny and silly, but they're true, which makes them even better, I think, that they're true. And then in the cancel culture, I talk a little bit about, you know, I was hoping to join it. I wanted to join it initially, you know, and be part of it because the kids are doing it. It's all about the kids. And, you know, I don't like children. But yet you gotta hang with the kids once in a while. So I was hanging with the kids, and it turned out not to be that great of a thing. I talk about that. I was hoping to make new friends, and the cancel culture people don't really want to be your friend. I found out, which is a little disappointing. But yet at the same time, you know, we make the best of it, and I think it makes a really great show. And then sometimes in the show, people have even told me that they've been canceled. So if you've been canceled, you know, and like, tell me about it. A woman in P-Town lost her job. She was canceled and lost her job. It's really interesting. So it really affects a lot of people. You know, it touches a lot of people. So, and then because it's young people that are so involved, that's, you know, that's not really my crowd. My crowd is, you know, middle-aged people, you know, or people like you on the other end of middle age. I don't want to say old, but you know what I'm saying. I think you know what I'm saying. I'll have the puppet say it. Like you, Amber. Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, she's old. A little bit, not too much. See, it's easier when the puppets say it. I got to use these puppets more often. This is really helpful for me to be able to. Right, guys? Right. So, yeah. So anyway, these are mittens, actually. I'm going to be wearing these. And we're going to be playing bingo as well as doing the show.
Yeah, so on Friday night, you have your show there at the Stowe Theater or Town Hall Theater, and then on Saturday afternoon, you're joining us to host bingo. Lucy Bell and I will be hosting bingo, and you're going to be there having fun as well.
We're going to have a blast. We're going to have so much fun. And I just love bingo, but I love hanging out with you gals, the LeMay sisters. Will Lucy Bell be there?
Oh, yes, yes. And she will correct you. She is not a sister. She is our cousin. She's
Yeah, whatever you're calling it. I know. It's a very
she's from Mississippi.
line in your neck of the woods. I know.
She's our foreign exchange student from Mississippi. That's how she joined us.
Oh, wow. That's why I have to tell her things twice. Okay. She says that.
And then after bingo,
makes me want to call 911 when I look at her, but it's just her look. It's just that sort of I don't know what's going on sort of look she has. Which
then the next day, you're flying out and you're going cruising.
I'm going to the cruise.
Where are you going?
Here we go, off to the cruise. I am going to Cape Canaveral and taking a ship out of there, a brand new Norwegian ship. I'm very excited about that. The Prima. It's going to be super fun. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to do that. And then I come back from that. And my friend and I are going to go to Disney World for a little while. Make sure pack the puppets for that. And then I go on another cruise February 4th. Just a few days after I get off the one boat, I get on another boat in Fort Lauderdale. Then I get home. And then I'm going to be home for a while because I got to do my taxes and I got to write my show. And so, yeah, so I got to get home and get busy, get some work done because, when you're on the road, it's hard to get work done.
Are these gay cruises or?
They are. I'm glad you asked that because I know I don't look like the type of person that would do the big Mo cruises, but yeah, filled Mo's everywhere. It's mostly Mo's, yeah. The Nancy boys, they're all on there. So I bring the puppets because, later in the evening, they think these are real. Actually, yeah. The guys think, at the dance, they actually think these are real animals walking around. So, yeah, it's that kind of a crowd. But it's super fun. Atlantis Events, if you're not familiar with it, great company. I've been with them for years and years. I started in 1999 when I was in the 3rd grade, actually, is when I started working with Atlantis Events. So, yep. And ever since then, I've been traveling around. I've been actually privileged to travel around the world with them. So I've been in many, many fun places. Very
wonderful.
Exciting. But one of the most favorite is Burlington, Vermont, to see you and then go up to Stowe. And I love that. I love that area. You have such a beautiful area and it must be prettier than ever. Did you get a lot of snow like we did in Minnesota?
No, there's no snow. There's no snow.
Are you serious?
There's no snow. Now, we're recording this earlier, so there may be snow by the time this airs.
Oh my word! We have snow. We have so much snow. I should just bring some snow with me because
that would be nice.
We've got snow in Richfield. We're still digging out. In fact, we just got about another 4 inches, and yeah, it's when 4 inches is enough. Trust me. So
you're back in P-Town this summer, back at the patio, not the patio, but you're back at the Pilgrim House.
Pilgrim House, exactly.
Yes.
Let's say it together. Pilgrim House.
Pilgrim House. Yes, you've been there a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think this is going to be my 6th year, 6th or 7th already. Can you believe that? It's like at the time. I know my mom always said, "Oh, the time will go so fast," when it really does. When you're a kid, time just crawls along. But yeah, next thing you know, it's time to go back to P-Town, get to the Pilgrim House.
What's your opening date? What's your opening date?
It's always a Saturday before Memorial Day. Yes, and also known as Baby Dyke Weekend. They also like the puppets. Yeah, they're big into the puppets on Memorial Day. Yeah, and it's super fun crowd. You know what? It's just a lot of people just feel like Baby Dyke Weekend. Is that going to work for me? And you know what? It does. The gals are so much fun, and they have such a great time. And a lot of them come to my show. They come to go see the shows. They're fabulous. We love Baby Dyke Weekend. And so we do that. And then I'm there. I just do 62 shows this year. So try to get in there early, because it's only 62. That goes by fast. Next thing you know, we're done. So it's
Well,
very.
you know, my crowd will be there during Carnival Week.
I know you come in Carnival Week, and that is an expensive week. Wow, and you
Well,
just don't look like somebody who's money. I love that. Like, I love that you just look like you don't have a cent to your name, and yet
you know,
there you are on the most expensive week of the summer, which I think is Carnival Week. It's the most expensive week. It's
yes,
a
it is.
wonderful week, and we love hosting you. And everybody's in a good mood by Carnival because it's almost over, and we only have another week or two after that. And then, so everyone's cheerful and happy. And the crowds are there. So it's a last good push for the shows to get people in because, that's how we make money. So when you go to P-Town, it really helps when you go see a show. If you don't see mine, go see somebody else. It's tons of good shows, like 18 shows a night in some cases.
That is super. Miss Richfield, safe travels to here when you're coming here to Burlington and to go on your cruises and on your trip to Provincetown. I can't wait to see you in person. Thank you so much for
so
joining us tonight.
excited. I can't wait to see you. And will Russell and other people be there?
Yes, they will.
Oh, yay. I'm so excited. And I'm not just excited that we're going to see each other, but we're going to work together. My show is the night before, but I'm almost looking forward to bingo just as much as my show because I can't wait to work. We work together so well, the three of us.
Have a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amber LeMay. Bye. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Herner Puppets. Thank you very much, Miss Richfield. It's wintertime, and you know what that means? You need to go on a trip. How about a trip to the Amber Live store? Show off your support for Amber Live with a t-shirt, a mug, a hat, a giant towel, all with our brand new logo on them. While you're visiting, check out the pillows and the candles. Then order your merchandise today at amberlive.tv. It's Old Friends Week here on Amber Live tonight as we welcome back DJ Craig Mitchell. DJ, come on in.
Hello.
Hi there, Craig.
How are you?
All right. So I'm doing well. You're going to be down at Winter Rendezvous this weekend. So have you been there before?
I've done the events when they did them at Rusty Nail, but I've not done the new venue. But I had a great time in the past, and I'm so looking forward to this year to be back playing for the crowd. So it should be a lot of fun.
It's Thursday night. You're going to be at Alfie's Wild Ride, which is a fabulous nightclub that just opened about a year ago because we had some events last year at Winter Rendezvous. But before you start DJing, you're going to be doing sound for
Debby Holiday.
Holiday?
Yes. She's a Billboard charting artist, vocalist, and she's doing a tribute to Tina Turner, which that's going to be huge. I'm a huge Tina Turner fan, so I'm very excited about that.
She performed in P-Town last year, but I did not get around seeing her. But so many people said it was fabulous. And I know Michael Wilson, who produces Winter Rendezvous, is a big, big fan. So she must be good if she's coming there. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we'll be talking to her later on in the show. When you DJ a semi-private party like this, how do you adjust your music? Do you have a set saying, okay, this is the music I'm going to play because I know there's going to be a bunch of gay guys or gay skiers? Or how do you choose your music?
Right. Well, and that is always in consideration. So I think about the room, what it's going to be, who's going to be there, what type of vibe they would generally like. But then really feel it out once I get there, because sometimes I'll have a set that I think is going to be amazing. And then, whoa, and considering that I'd had a set years ago in New York City, my first big set, and I played 4 hours and I rocked this room. And then I hadn't played at 135 Pearl in a year and a half or something. And I came back and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play that set. Well, that was a big mistake because it was the wrong room for that. So within half an hour, people kept coming in going, are you okay? And then the owner comes in and says, so this is not New York. What are you doing? And I'm like, and they finally booed me out of the booth. I learned my lesson. So I try to be as, well, it's luckily these days I have a laptop which has all my music on it. So I can read the room and decide, okay, this is working, this is not working, this is where they want to go. Okay, we found the groove. Let's go there.
But not like the days where you had to bring in crates and crates and crates of LPs, right?
Oh my goodness! When I play at the Tunnel in New York City, which was 12 hours, It would take 5 trips from the cab to get all the records in, and I'm really sore back by the end. And then getting them out at noon that was rough. But I mean, you had to be very selective with what you brought, and that room you kind of had to know the room, otherwise it's not going to work. But I'm excited to play for this room again, and the times I've played for this crowd, it's just been electric, and it's not often I get to play for a predominantly gay crowd. So to play some really nice vocals and some old school Deborah Cox and some Whitney Houston remixes and some Lizzo remixes and some Dua Lipa. And, so we're going to have some fun.
How many years have you been a DJ?
Oh, God. So in February, it'll be 33 years since my first paid gig.
And I was probably there if it was at Pearl's.
Yeah. Well, actually, my first gig was at St. Michael's College by mistake. I worked at the student activities office, and the DJ canceled. It was Valentine's Day weekend. And after calling around, there were not many DJs around at all, but everyone was booked. And I said, well, I guess I could do it. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I have turntables and records in my room. Like, then go get them. So then all my friends started asking me to play at Rasputin's and RJ's. And then I wrote a letter to 135 Pearl. I had gotten taken in there for Halloween a few months prior and ran out. I was scared to death. I was just, innocent kid from Michigan.
I was probably there too.
But I wrote them a letter, and with all these statistics, with the 15,000 college students in the area, and 10% of them are presumably gay. Here's the amount of money you could possibly make on a night for us. Give us one night, and I'll DJ it, and let me see. Let's try it out. And Eddie, the owner at the time, got in touch with me, and he said, you know what? Let's have a meeting. He goes, all right, you got one chance. And so we did it on a Wednesday. Maybe 3 weeks later, and I advertised at every high school, all the colleges, and we had 600 kids throughout in and out the doors the first night. It was both floors were non-alcoholic. And halfway through the night, Eddie comes over and he goes, tell them we're doing it again next week. I'm like, well, I thought he said, no, we're doing it next week. And such is life. There we go. And then I started doing Fridays and Saturdays, and then we became 18 plus.
You told the story about how you wrote Eddie a letter, being an entrepreneur, for pushing yourself, and that's continued throughout your career. Because tell me about some of your, for lack of a better word, side hustles that's going on now for you.
Oh boy! Well, I just had a new record released, which I'm very excited about. This guy Matt Burr, who used to be a part of Grace Potter's The Nocturnals, he left the band and he moved to Puerto Rico, and he started a studio called San Juan Sound, which is an incredible concept. It's a nonprofit. He doesn't charge artists anything to record there. It's just one of those, he films, he records, he produces, and then if you get a record deal, just remember me. Well, I was down there for a cruise in 2019, and I went by to see the studio, and we went out and had lunch before I got on my cruise, and he said, hey, that record that I played you, do you want to do some vocals on it? And I said, well, yeah, but I only have a couple hours. He goes, we'll get it done fast. Don't worry about it. So I did a quick vocal. He brings me to the boat. And then 2 days later, I'm in St. Kitts. And I get a text going, we're doing an album. So I was back and forth to Puerto Rico for like 6 months before the pandemic, for a week at a time. But this one song called Can't Get Enough, I kept going. It's a slow song. It's 75 beats per minute. It's very slow. But I'm like, you know what? This needs a disco treatment. And they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. But they don't get it. They're not DJs. They didn't understand. So finally, I'm like, you know what? After months and months and months, give me the parts. I'll get it done. And it finally just got released maybe 3 weeks ago. It's doing very well on the charts. It's going to be part of Promo Only's big promo, their big record pool around the country. But we're number 78 in Malta. So we're not charting here in the States, but in Malta, I'm a superstar.
That's great. And
so there's that.
On New Year's Eve, tell me what you did New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, my band played at J Peak, which the hospitality there is unbelievable. I mean, if there's 8 of us, they gave us all individual suites, which was really nice. We had a relatively sold out crowd. People were up we played for 3.5 hours and got to ring in the new year. And I mean, they pulled out all the stops with the lighting and the sound. And I mean, it was perfect. And I can't wait to play there again. It was magic. You don't get that kind of hospitality everywhere.
And this wasn't a DJ. It wasn't a DJ gig. It was your Prince show, wasn't it?
It was my Prince band, yeah, my Prince tribute band, and you know, we call it a Prince tribute band, but it's you know, Prince is the catalyst, but it's really about just we're jamming. I go into some gospel tunes, Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want, and then we do some James Brown stuff and George Clinton, and we've done David Bowie and Radiohead, so we mix it up with lots of stuff. So it's really what do we feel like doing right now, and let's go there.
And marijuana, recreational marijuana went on sale in Vermont in October, and you have a hand in that as well.
I do. There are so far 37 stores that are licensed and opened or opening, but most of them are open already. And I'm working with Ben's Best, and Ben's Best is a brand that is the license. The person who holds the license, the main license, I'm a licensee, and the owner is Ben Cohen of Ben & Jerry's. So he was going to launch in Colorado. That fell through. He was going to launch in Massachusetts. That fell through. And he said, you know what? We're going to bring it home. The whole mission of the brand is to be socially equitable. So the majority of the money goes towards BIPOC organizations, women organizations, and then trying to expunge the records of people who are incarcerated or get them out of jail if they're in jail for marijuana. So it's really, really exciting. And the person who is the lead licensee has to be a person of color. And luckily, he and I have been friends for a very long time. We became friends at a chili cook-off, believe it or not. Well, he came to one of my shows at Lunix, and then I was doing a chili cook-off at Nectar's. And he comes over and he's like, this is really good chili, but I don't think you can beat my chili. I'm like, how about you stick to your ice cream and I'll stick to my chili? And we've been friends ever since. And when the opportunity came, he came to me and said, hey, would you like to be the licensee? And I went, oh my God. Yeah. So now he calls me his pot partner. So people should check out the website to read the full mission. It's bensbest.com.
How super, how super. And you're king of Winooski. Winooski is a small town just outside of Burlington, and you're not officially mayor, but you do a lot for it.
I try. I love this town. It's the most diverse town in the state of Vermont. And they let me be free with doing things. So we had our first gay pride this year, which with 3.5 weeks of preparation, we had 650 some odd people come to our pride. Next year, it's going to be bigger and better and wilder. And I have a whole idea of a drum line going in and out of the neighborhoods and then finally making their way to the Rotary. We had Myra Flynn this year. My band's played there. We had, oh God, he was on, why can't I think of his name? Anyway, Josh Panda, who was on the NBC show Songwriters. He performed this year.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was like huge. And then I started Downtown Winooski with some folks. So Downtown Winooski is an organization that just through selling T-shirts and taking donations, we raise money for BIPOC organizations, including Heartland Foundation, which deals with the mental health of women of color around the country. We've raised about $100,000 thus far, again, just through donations and T-shirts. So it's very exciting.
And I want to toot my own horn and your horn too. Coming up on February 18th, you're going to be DJing and performing at the annual Winter is a Drag Ball, February 18th at Higher Ground. Looking forward to that, you and Yolanda, and we have a bunch of other acts. It's going to be a great night of entertainment. But first, it's this Thursday night at Alfie's Wild Ride when you open up with Debby Holiday and her tribute to Tina Turner. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, Craig. Can't wait to see you in person.
Thank you so much for having me.
What a gracious, nice person Craig Mitchell is. I love him. And you know what? The next person I didn't meet until we interviewed her, but I've heard all about her, and I heard a lot more. She's a drag performer, a writer, a singer. She's written books. She writes for other people. What doesn't she do? We'll find out now. Let's talk to Jackie Beat. Jackie, come on in.
I do everything.
That's what I've heard for a price. You know, we're all whores.
Seriously, for a price, I will do anything.
Jackie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's find out, where did you grow up and how did you start becoming a drag queen?
Well, I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it was a great place to grow up because, you know, if you drive one way, you can go to the mountains and there's snow. And if you drive the other way, there's the desert. And we used to go tubing down the Salt River Boy, I sound like a real outdoors lady. And we would go to Mexico several times a year. I love Mexico. And so it was a really fun place to grow up until, you know, all of a sudden you're a teenager and everybody's calling you the F word that rhymes with maggot. And so, yeah, I just remember there was a point, I think I was like, it must have been just out of high school. And, you know, I was wearing a vintage suit and a big wool overcoat. You know, it's 120 degrees out. And I'm driving around town on a moped, and somebody was like, have you ever been, you know, why don't you move to Los Angeles? And that's literally all it took. I sold everything and moved to Los Angeles and slept on my friend's couch for a while. And yeah, the rest is history. I don't know about, we haven't talked about when I became a drag queen though.
So you went to LA, you were sleeping on that person's couch. What were you doing during the day?
We all worked at Embassy Television, which was at Sunset Gower Studios, and they did, they filmed the Golden Girls there, although the Golden Girls wasn't for Embassy. Embassy was like Facts of Life, Silver Spoons, you know, all these horrible shows. But I remember, was it, oh my God, what, oh my God, I'm so out of it. It was a long time ago, obviously. But anyway, I remember, I think Whitney Houston was a special guest on Silver Spoons. If I remember this correctly, it could have been one of the other shows, but she played a pop star named Cinnamon, I think. And I remember we all went to the taping. Yeah. You know, so anyway, that's what I did during the day. And it was, you know, you got paid next to nothing and you were just supposed to be thrilled to be in show business. And then just, I don't know, slowly but surely, I just, you know, I was writing poetry, like real poetry, and going to open mic nights and doing art and photography and all sorts of sort of serious stuff. And then one Halloween, me and a bunch of friends just did drag, and I sort of did it to a different level than they did. And I just feel like I found my voice.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to create Jackie Beat?
Well, I was going to one of those open mic nights that I went to once a week, and they would never, I would always sign up to read my poetry, and they would never get to me. Never. Because it was always the celebrities. You know, like Robert Downey Jr. and Ali Sheedy. So it was very, you know, that's how Hollywood is. I get it. But I got pissed off one week and I was like, I need to just, you know, sort of rain on their parade or, I don't know, be punk rock and mess with them. So I got in full beatnik drag. So, you know, a black page boy, a black turtleneck, black skirt, black tights, black boots, a black beret. And I wrote this poem that was kind of making fun of the whole thing. And not only would they not let me read my poetry, they wouldn't even let me in the door. So this was
you showed them.
So I went to Rage, the bar, the gay bar, which doesn't exist anymore. It's called Heart. And it was open mic night, and I was signing up, and there was a woman with a clipboard, and she was like, "What's your name?" And I didn't have a stage name. So I was thinking of Jack Kerouac and the Beat Poets and just all of that, and Jackie Kennedy and 60s, and, you know, and I said, Jackie Beat. And it was literally just, that's how, like, this name that's been around, you know, over 30 years now came to be.
All right, so that was that first night there at Rage. What was the reaction of the crowd, and where did you go from there? You won.
They laughed, and I told them to snap their fingers because clapping was for Scotch drinking capitalist pigs. And you know, I'm going to leave you face down and drowning in my stream of consciousness. It was I was really into the beatniks, and the poem was essentially stand-up comedy, but you know, like I was taking it seriously, and it was about my landlord and, you know, how, you know, he wore a food stain t-shirt and he was a pig, and, you know, you know, to call himself Lord of the Land was kind of pushing it. And, you know, he drove a car that was salmon colored. It used to be salmon colored, but the paint job is shot, and now it just smells like salmon. Anyway, it was just like jokes, you know, and they laughed, and I won, and I was hooked.
Did you go back to Rage, or when did you start expanding your crowd?
Yeah, I remember the first song parody I ever did was at another show at Rage, and I did Madonna's Vogue as Vague. And I remember Julie Brown did her parody of the Madonna movie, and she did Vague, and a bunch of people, you know, called me and said, Julie Brown stole your idea. And I was like, honey, if you're going to do a parody of Vogue, you're going to call it Vague.
Yes.
Now she's a friend of mine, and Julie Brown, not Madonna. And yeah, so the very first song I did was Vague, and it used to bring down the house when I did the list of names, because they were all sort of, you know, C-list celebrities, and it was really funny. And I just have written a million song parodies since.
Since that time, were you still working day job, and when did you start being Jackie the Professional?
Well, that took a while. Yeah, I think I had a day job for quite a while, and then I think I'm trying to remember when I moved to New York, like in '96, to do Valley of the Dolls at Circle in the Square off Broadway. I think that's when I stopped having day jobs. I've been pretty fortunate. So, and then I stayed in New York. It was only supposed to, you know, when the show closed, I stayed until 2000 or 2001. And then I came back to LA to write for a TV show called Hype. And yeah, so I mean, that's a day job, sort of, but.
Sure. As you were transitioning from the Jackie Beat, the poet at Rage, into the Valley of the Dolls, who was your drag influences, or who were your performance influences?
Well, my number one performing influence was Sandra Bernhard. And I think if you watch me, especially early stuff, you can really see it. There was just a weirdness and a kind of a quirky sexiness and like an element of danger and sort of a bit of a fuck you in there. Can I say that? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yeah, so she was my number one. They're all women, obviously. The funny women from SCTV, Andrea Martin and Catherine O'Hara, just that, I don't know, there's just something, I mean, that's why I wanted to be a woman. That's why I wanted the character to be female, because I feel like I'm throwing drag kings under the bus when I say this, and I used to say it all the time in interviews, but I mean, you know, to each their own. But I just feel like in this society and in this world and in show business and in acting and in song, women can express themselves more than men. It's one of the few places where you're freer, you know. And I always say a drag king, to me, always gets up there and puts up a wall of macho, you know, whether you're doing a Sinatra character, Elvis, you know, a rapper. The men always have sort of a wall up, and the women get to express themselves fashionably, you know, emotionally. I can sing a sad song. I can be funny. I can have people wondering whether I'm serious or not. So I just feel like women are just more interesting. And for the longest time, I said, if you're going to dress like a woman, dress like a Jewish woman in the 1980s. So that's what you're getting today, sort of going to the office.
How do you classify yourself? As a drag queen, female illusionist, an impersonator?
Oh, I always embrace drag queen, because queen means gay man. And even though now anybody can be a drag queen, which is great, I just think it's important to, when you're up there, or, you know, in the audience and I'm up there and you're laughing at everything I'm saying and doing, or almost everything, just remember there's a gay man under all this. You know, it's not just a clown. This is a real person and somebody who, you know, has lived through quite a bit. And a lot of this comedy is coming from pain. And I mean, you don't have to consciously think of that. I just feel it's important to have the word queen in there, which to me connotates a gay man, like a leather queen, you know, a drag queen. But things have changed. And but I've had people tell me you should not say you're a drag queen. It's limiting. I've also written, porn movies, really funny, campy porn, gay porn movies. And I've had friends in the business say, don't use your name, use a different name. And I'm like, I'm here to promote one name. And if somebody's watching a porn movie and all of a sudden they see that I wrote it,
they're going to buy a ticket.
You never know.
Very nice. All right, Jackie, thank you so much. We're going to come back and talk about what you're doing presently. We learned about your past right after this word. Thank you. Yes, but wait, there's more. But right after we get a word from Russell. Russell, come on in.
Oh, my goodness. What a show so far. What a show. And there's so much more.
I mean, we're talking to these people from all over the country, and I'm here in my basement in the old North End of Burlington, Vermont, and you're there in your apartment in Queens, New York, and it's just amazing, or amazing, as we like to say.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yes, and after you and I finish, we'll have more from Jackie Beat. And then we've got Debby Holiday as well. And we can't forget Rocco's here too. So,
oh, great. I just want to reiterate. I know I've said it a few times tonight, and I'll probably say it a few more times. We can't help but thank Michael Wilson from Winter Rendezvous for putting this together. Now it's almost 40 years of Winter Rendezvous, bringing all this great entertainment to Vermont and allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you very much, Michael.
Yes. And, what helps to keep us going so that we can bring you all these great people is, of course, the Bustiers. So I just want to give a shout out to them again and say, please, if you're watching the show tonight, if you can help us out, use that Venmo at RJD Pro or use amberlive.tv and use your credit card there. Look for the donate button. Again, that's Venmo at RJD Pro. And if you get down to Winter Rendezvous, like I mentioned, and you see Amber, think about the Venmo and send the money to the show.
After you buy me a drink. All right, let's get back to Jackie Beat's interview. All right, we're back with Jackie Beat, who told us all about her early life. But now we're going to learn about what she's doing present day, including coming to Stowe, Vermont next weekend for Winter Rendezvous. Jackie, where has your life taken you as a drag queen?
Wait a minute. I'm going to Vermont?
Yes, you are.
Everyone, I can't wait. I'm sorry, what's the question? What am I doing now?
No, where has drag taken you? I know you've traveled the world.
Oh my God. I just posted a picture. A friend of mine from high school sent me a picture of me at a cast party. We did South Pacific as the high school musical. And I was at the cast party and I'm all, it's 1979 or 1980 and I'm all new wave. So I jokingly said, I'm not gay, I'm new wave. And I just remember looking at that, and part of the caption was just, if you would have told me that this person would travel literally all over the world, work with, Joan Rivers, Roseanne, Margaret Cho, Jennifer Coolidge, Sandra Bernhardt, Elvira, all my favorites. I'm leaving people out, but I just can't believe it, to be perfectly honest. And I have to say that I'm very proud that I just do what I do. And people kind of gravitate towards me because I live in Hollywood. And a big part of Hollywood is, always hustling to get that next job and getting an agent and, please love me and auditioning. I don't think I haven't auditioned for many things. Most people just send me an email saying, I wrote you a part in this movie, or I think you'd be perfect for this part, or I had you in mind. I have done some auditioning, but for the most part, I just think it's important. Just do what you do, be you, and, just attract the people who are into it.
Now, you mentioned Joan Rivers, Roseanne, and many others. Did you write for them, perform with them? Tell me about that.
I wrote for all of those people I mentioned, and I actually toured with Roseanne as her opening act and did 7 sold-out weeks at the New York in Vegas. And yeah, I mean, writing for Joan was one of the greatest lessons. Like, when it comes to comedy, you just you can't be too precious. You just have to throw it out there, and maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. You have to, you don't want to embarrass yourself on stage, although I have, but in a writer's room, just say whatever. And if it's not funny, maybe somebody else will be, oh, that doesn't work, but it makes me think of this. And the whole point is just to get to, a joke or something funny. And Joan always said it's almost mathematical. You can always tell. You don't know why it works, but you can tell when it does. So,
what can one expect if they come see Jackie Beat in a show?
Well, number one, I hope, is to laugh. That really is my goal. Just sit there and kind of forget about your problems for a little while and laugh. And then I think there's layers. I think you might go, oh my God, like, this song is funny, but the bitch can sing. Oh. Because I do sing live, and I think my voice is pretty good. And then, occasionally I'll throw something in that's a little painful. Like, I really don't do it consciously. It's just every once in a while you got to be a little real, and, that's the way you sneak the politics in, or, the ugliness, because you have to laugh at the ugliness. That's how we have survived as a species, literally laughing. Nobody told Joan Rivers not to make a Holocaust joke. It's true. It's like, gotta stay alive, gotta laugh about it, gotta take the pain out of it. It doesn't remove the pain. It is a temporary respite. It's just, yeah, I think it's important to laugh at the ugly stuff. So it does worry me a little bit that now, things are so touchy.
Has that changed your approach to entertainment?
It has. It really has. You cannot say certain words. It's not about irony anymore. You can't get up there and do a song as a Karen, for lack of a better phrase. Like, oh, I'm an ignorant white woman. That's who's singing this song. You're laughing at her, not the people she's, thinks she's superior to. I mean, I used to do That's What Friends Are For, which was Dionne Warwick and, Elton John.
Gladys Knight,
Stevie Wonder. I mean, this was the AIDS anthem. Mm-hmm. And I did that as That's What Fags Are For, already a bad word. But the whole point was that this woman had her gay friends. And the song was about, I love gays, but stay away from my kids and don't do this. And I assume you're all bottoms. And I assume everyone has this. And it was really an indictment of that kind of woman who goes to, drag brunch, but her politics are all wrong. But now if I sang it, people just hear certain words and just, shut down. So
I have a feeling if you sang that this weekend at Winter Rendezvous, you'd get a good response for it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I might just keep it light.
Okay. Yeah, we want to thank Michael.
Songs, there's no need to. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm getting old. I was going to say there's no need to make people uncomfortable. That used to be my whole goal.
Yes.
But now, listen, I'm a laugh whore. I just want them to laugh, and I could put together the perfect show of just fun songs. So,
what's your accompaniment?
Oh, they're karaoke tracks.
Okay.
Yeah. honey, I'm not paying somebody. I want all that money. People are like, do you have a makeup artist? Hell no. I do this myself. I'm not paying anybody. I do have to pay for the wigs, but yeah, just karaoke tracks. They're pop songs. I only, I do If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher is one of my newer ones, believe it or not, keeping it current. But, and I asked myself, I'm like, if I could really turn back time, what would I do? So it's all about flossing my teeth and eating healthier. And then it gets more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And yeah, it's pretty funny. And just all sorts of, I do Tainted Love by Soft Cell as Painted Mug. Why You Can't Hug and Kiss Me, because I don't wake up looking like this. Painted Mug. Anyway, like I said, I've written thousands of song parodies, so we'll keep it light in Vermont.
Are you on tour now, or is this just a special trip?
Girl, I was just on my holiday tour, and I did, it was brutal. It really was.
Yeah.
It was just one night after the other, and I got sick in Puerto Vallarta, and I tried to cancel the show, and they were like, "You've sold too many tickets. Please don't cancel the show." So I went to this place and got a B12 shot and rallied and did the show, and it was great. Came home and had to go to San Diego, and then then I had to do New Year's Eve with Sherry Vine, Heclina, and Billy Lamore, and that was 2 shows in one night, and then that was the end of it. Today I did have to get in drag, which is why we're doing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm finally on your show because I'm all dolled up, but I had to go shoot some promo stuff for the Halloween drag extravaganza. I don't know if you saw that on Hulu, the Halloween special. So so I mean, a day like today is easy because it doesn't, no traveling, no singing. Not that singing is difficult, but when you're not feeling 100%, it's a little rough. So,
well, Jackie, I'm so looking forward to seeing you in Stowe, Vermont this Saturday night for Winter Rendezvous. We want to thank Michael Wilson and Winter Rendezvous for bringing you to Vermont. He's given us the opportunity to see so many great stars like yourself, and just very happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. And are you really going to be there? Or?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited that I get to meet you and get to see the show. And I'll dedicate a song to you.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. Well, thank you so much, Jackie. We'll see you Saturday.
Thanks, honey.
We told you there's some great talent coming to Winter Rendezvous. And to prove that, we're bringing you now Debby Holiday. Debbie, come on in.
Hi.
Hey, girl. So good to see you. Oh, I can't tell you how excited I am to see you perform this Thursday night down in Stowe at the Winter Rendezvous at Alfie's Wild Ride. You performed last year in P-Town, but I didn't get to see you. So let's backtrack some. Tell me about how your career started.
Oh, my God. Well, if I'm honest, I got to go all the way back to when my father wrote a very successful song called Put a Little Love in Your Heart. Jimmy Holiday wrote, think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. So as young as 5 years old, my father was a very strict father, we'll say. And I remember walking by the piano, humming something, and he said, "Huh, you flat." Uh-oh. So my training started very early. And my mother was a concert pianist. So lots of music in the background. I tried to not follow in their footsteps. I took French in high school. Grew up in Los Angeles, and I took French. Brain trust. And did ballet. And then I got my first guitar when I was 15, and nothing else mattered besides music. So started songwriting then. Was signed to a very lucrative rock and roll deal, very rock, lots of guitars in the early 2000s. And I ended up getting dropped, took that money, started my own dance label, and had my first #5 dance music hit in 2004. And it has been such an amazing journey. I have met so many amazing people and traveled all over the world. And I feel, I'm going to get all teary. I'm very grateful.
We're going to be seeing a Tina Turner tribute. Why Tina Turner?
To keep up my rock and roll, because I have two bands as well. I've got a band called the Queens and Kings of Rock, and now a 10-piece Tina Turner tribute band. I do this thing called the Ultimate Jam Night in Hollywood at the historic Whiskey A Go-Go. And they asked me to sing a Tina song, and it rolled off of my tongue and out of my body so easily. And it was so easy for me to do my version, my emulation of her, that someone said, you should probably do a tribute. I'm like, huh? A tribute? Because prior to that, I don't really do covers. I'll do some dance music covers, but I'm a songwriter, and I started singing a few of her songs, and every single one was in my wheelhouse. And I'm like, well, okay, let's do this.
What was that first song that you sang?
The very first song, Proud Mary. Yeah. And we did the beginning, the beginning part was, every now and then we think you might like to hear something from us, nice and easy. It's like, yes, all the sass completely goes with me. So, and there is no better in my opinion, diva to honor.
When did you start doing the Tina show?
Oh, wow. I guess it's been, let's see, I literally put my 10-piece band together, and we had our first show, wait for it, February 2020. Good planning.
Oh, I know what happens in March.
Right? Sold out. We were on a roll. We had like 10 shows booked, and then one by one, no. Bye-bye. Like everyone,
What did you do during that year and a half of COVID countdown?
Oh, wow. I did a lot of songwriting. I did something called Debbie's Den right here from my studio. I missed singing and I missed connecting with people. So my boyfriend was able to, be obviously in my bubble. We were each other's bubble. And so I did shows from here and took requests. So I got to learn a bunch of new different artists. And, I'd never sung Lizzo. So I did some Lizzo. I did some Burt Bacharach. I did some show tunes. It was all over the place and so much fun. And it just kept my mind focused on music and still connecting with people. So, and I still do them. I do them once in a while for people who aren't in the area that I'm performing in, etc.
Tell me about the Tina tribute of the content. How do you prepare?
It's quite different when I'm by myself because it's much more focused on talking about Tina as well as the vocals, because there's so much about her that is interesting to me, the life she's led, the things she's overcome, and how her spirit, she just keeps going. And was on stage in her 70s kicking booty, in heels, looking fabulous. So the show is a lot about, first of all, I'm not an imitation. I'm not an impersonator. Okay. So I don't have my braids. I don't wear the wig because it's not an impersonation act. I do my very best to honor her spirit and her energy and what she gives on stage. And of course, doing my best to sound as much like her without being a bad copy.
Have you seen the Broadway show about Tina?
I haven't yet. I have not. I've heard wonderful things about it, but I haven't seen it.
Has Tina seen your show?
Oh, man, that would be so fantastic if Tina had. I would be the happiest gal. I would just be doing this a lot. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I don't believe she has.
Your 10-piece band. Oh, my goodness. You have two bands playing. How often do you play out?
We just had a show November 12th. It was pretty insane because I wanted to do some footage for promo. I have 3 new booking agents and they all need promo. So we did 2 shows in one night. My Queens and Kings of Rock, which is David Bowie, Prince, of course, who am I thinking of? Janis Joplin, Fleetwood Mac, Heart, a lot of different artists. And we did that show first, and then that was a 5-piece. And then we came back and doubled in size like a chia band and to 10 and did the Tina show in one night. And it was absolutely so much fun. I can't even, and my players, I'm so blessed. These are some amazing, literally rock star players. So I'm.
Are you the only singer when you had your band?
I have 2 background singers. And my guitar player, Derek Day, who is in his own right, he's in a band called Classless Act, traveling the world. He sings like crazy, as well as my bass player. So yeah, there's a lot of voices, 5 voices on stage.
The show we're going to see at Stowe, that'll just be you with recorded music?
With your tracks, yes. And one of them, or a few of them, are actually tracks I've recorded myself with my band. So that's really fun. Yeah.
Costumes, are there any costume changes?
You know, it's difficult when you're out there by yourself. I usually do costume changes. I headlined New Year's Eve in Key West just a few days ago. And it was so much fun. But since I was on like every 15 minutes for 3 hours, I had time to go back, change, come back, change. But when you're on by yourself, it's a little more difficult to be like, you guys, hang out. I'll be right back. You know,
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back. Have some coffee. So
you're based in LA. That's where we're talking to you tonight. Have you been to Vermont in the winter?
I have never been to Vermont, period. I've been to everything around it, but never been to Vermont. I was looking through my, excuse me, still getting over this respiratory thing. I was looking through my clothing actually just yesterday and going, I think I might need to get some more gear. Of course, I'm going to be the gal when I'm not singing by the fire inside. I will not be skiing. I'm not that gal.
We'll hang out together.
Yes. Sit by the fire and drink hot toddies or whatever it is you drink by a fire.
What happens after you leave Stowe? What's your plans for the rest of this year?
It's kind of busy. Not too long after that, I'll be heading to Puerto Vallarta, where I go every single year. Spend about 3 weeks in Puerto Vallarta doing shows in Ajijic, Mexico, and in Puerto Vallarta. I have 2 shows at a wonderful place called Nacho Daddy, and 2 shows in Ajijic, and so many friends there that this year, rather than doing like 6 to 8 shows, I'm doing 4 shows and going to spend more time with my friends. And
four shows a week, or 4 shows total?
4 shows total. 2 shows the same day in Ajijic, and then 1 show February. I think it's calendar. I think it's February 24th. And March 2nd.
Well, you'll have time to see some of the great drag shows that are down there this time of year as well.
Oh, so my God. Mama Tits, the Dueling Drag Divas. I mean, these are my peeps. These are my friends and family. I love them so very much.
Misconception has been on the Misconception has been on the show a couple of times. You know her well. Yeah.
Yes. How about this? I actually won't. Half the time I don't get to go see my friends because I'm too busy, resting or promoting or keeping my voice quiet. So yes, I will be seeing all of their shows.
What about the rest of the summer? What will you be doing?
I have quite a few shows lined up with my band, both the Queens of Rock and Tina Turner, all throughout the country. So it's going to be a very busy year.
Will you be back in Provincetown?
I think I'm going to skip Provincetown this year only because it sort of conflicted with some of my Tina full band dates. Yeah.
After this year, what do you want to do? What's your next step? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I just started a crowdfunder for my new record. I have not put out a record since 2017. It was a double album, just about killed me. 26 songs back in 2017. It was called Free to Be. I'm a big proponent of everyone knowing that they can be exactly who they were born as and who they feel they are and know they are. I've always gotten a little flack about doing heavy rock and roll and dance music. So half the record is hard rock and the other half is dance music, because I support all art. I support people creating and being themselves. So I did that, and I swear I had to take a rest after that because it was a double album. So I have a new record coming out in June as well.
Debby, thank you so much for talking to us. I can't wait to see you Thursday night at Alfie's Wild Ride, part of Winter Rendezvous 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you're a delightful, delightful person. So I can't wait to meet you.
All right. Bye-bye. What a nice person. I can't wait to see her in person, to meet her. Oh, my goodness. That is going to be so cool. All right. So let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, Rocco. Rocco, what do you have to add to tonight's show?
Hey, everybody. It's me, Rocco. I just wanted to take a moment to say something about DoorDash. Yeah, I've been DoorDashing a little bit lately because, January is not the best month for erotic poetry. So, after Christmas, but I figured in February with Valentine's Day, I expected to perk up a little bit because people like to spice up their loving and stuff. But I've been DoorDashing, and let me tell you, I got a great idea. Hey, Russell, Amber, let's get in the car. You, me, maybe even Rusty Bean, and we'll drive across country. I got an idea. We'll film it. We'll call it Dashing Across America. And we'll just do door dashing, and we'll make money for gas. And you don't even have to buy food because every now and then, maybe somebody doesn't get their dinner. I don't know. They don't need that burger, right? So, here's what I'm thinking. We get in the car, we drive, we drop off people's food, we film it, it's a bucket of laughs, and we all have a great time. And then we make a movie out of it, and we sell that, all while promoting the show, promoting Rocco, promoting Rusty. And we could maybe go in the Nunmobile, and we could promote Force of Habit. That's right, Force of Habit, a TV pilot that's coming out soon. Hey, I'm just loaded with some ideas, all right? So DoorDash, why don't you sponsor us? I won't eat anybody's food, I promise. God forbid I take somebody's hard-earned money out of their food. I wouldn't do that. I would never take anybody's food. What are you, crazy? All right, I've had enough talking about this. I'm going to go eat this person's food. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Think about it. I'm telling you, this is big, big. I got great ideas all over the place.
Love that, Rocco.
Okay, Rocco, thank you very much. And thank you for watching tonight. Really appreciate it. And I want to thank Michael Wilson from Winter Rendezvous for bringing these great performers to Vermont so I have a chance to talk to them and meet them in person. Thank you, Michael. Well, let's see. Let's wrap up the show with Boog and Shug. Bye-bye.
You ever get tired of going to school, Boog? I'm always tired of school. Ooh, maybe we should drop out and run away. And end up drinking Fireball in a bathtub? No way.